Binghole.
Am I the hole for throwing out a piece of art my boyfriend ruined? 2 years ago, I saw an original watercolor piece that I liked and contacted the artist and bought it. When the piece arrived, I sought a frame for it, but I hadn't been able to find a frame for the size every time I went to the store. They were all too big or too small, so I just kept the piece in an envelope in my desk. I would sometimes look at it, remember I had to find a frame for it, would later forget again. Work, family, and life leaves little time to devote to thinking about a frame for a painting, and I don't have any framing businesses near me, so that wasn't either an option. Today, my boyfriend is dusting and comes into the office showing me the painting on a spare frame he had been using for something else. I ask him if that frame is 9x12. He tells me it's 8x10, that he had to cut a piece of the artwork to make it fit. Ouch. When I look at it, the piece went from a centralized composition to having the composition indented to the left side because he cut a whole inch on that side to save the artist's signature, which was on the extreme opposite end. For reference, imagine if you cut the Mona Lisa to the point where the head is no longer in the center. When he notices I'm perplexed, he nonchalantly tells me that the painting was in an envelope anyway, and it's better if it's out so we can see it. I get mad because this is not the first time he has taken something of mine, given it away, offered it to someone else, or just not asked and do whatever he wants with it. His mother does the same thing with his things at her house. In their family, if you're not using something, anyone can do with it as they please. I explained to him, in my family, you don't do anything with other people's stuff. I have the tendency to ruminate on thoughts, so I try not to engage in negative emotions because then I just can't let go of them and I cycle and cycle them and it makes my life miserable. I have to devote a lot of energy to get back to normal. Every time I looked at the framed painting, I felt a new wave of sadness, anger, and frustration ripple over me. So I took the frame down, took the painting out of it, ripped it into 4 pieces and threw it in the garbage. When my boyfriend saw it, he was shocked and visibly hurt. I get that his intentions were good, but he ruined a piece of art that was not his to begin with. Now it's awkward at home because I'm still fuming and he's sad. Am I the hole? Oh, he's sad. Yeah, right. Right. The top comment is, he was visibly sad? Him? The butcherer of the art? Not the hole. No, babe. He's careless to the point of negligence and doesn't know how to use a brain. Or he did this maliciously to make you okay with his tendency to do shit like this. Bright red flags. I'm furious for you. You felt attached to this piece of art and kept it safe. You've been hunting for a way to display it, but only if you could find the perfect way to do so. There was no rush. The frame would speak to you when it was time, but he not only destroyed the piece of art that you loved, he ruined the experience around it. This speaks to his character, and if he doesn't understand why this was an unspeakable offense, I would dump him yesterday. I could not live a life filled with so much disregard. What? I don't understand this post. So obviously we're gonna read it. Will I be the hole if I only spoke German to my husband, despite him requesting I don't? 31F. Recently signed up to sit an advanced German exam with the full support and encouragement of my 30M husband. We live in Germany where I work in an English-speaking environment, so to get extra practice in, I told him that after X date, we'd switch to German, which he is fluent in, grew up here. We've managed 2 days so far, where even if he accidentally says something in English, I answer in German. But last night, he told me he needed a break from me speaking German. I refused and said it's only for 10 weeks. 10 weeks? Until my exam, then I'll go back to English. He says I don't sound like his wife when I speak German. What? I asked if it was because my mistakes were jarring or my vocab was causing issues. He said it just quote, didn't feel like he was speaking to his wife. I think it's vital that I stick to my plan to get my speaking practice in. He seemed a bit sad after I said no. Will I be the whole if I carry on auf Deutsch? There's an update here. Thanks to most of you for your very well thought out and reasonable comments. I tried to read as many as possible and appreciate the different viewpoints. My husband came home this evening, we ate dinner, and I apologized in English for not being very understanding. I showed him the post. Some of the comments made us laugh so much. We discussed and found a healthy compromise that works for both of us to help me prep, but not exhaust him after a long day. I've also taken on your suggestions of other places I can try to hone my German conversation skills, and we'll try some of them out. Top comment, fun fact, it's been proven that our personality changes, or more accurately, slightly shifts, when we speak in a different language, because language frames how we perceive the world and others, and how we relate our experiences to our interlocutors. It has a big influence when it comes to relationships. So I absolutely understand what your husband means by he doesn't feel like he's speaking to his wife. I feel like saying it, our personality changes is hyperbolic. Even so, he asked for a break, not to outright stop. I think that's fair. No, yeah, absolutely. Like, I think they both can have boundaries here. I think this commenter saying, oh yeah, your personality changes when you speak a different language. I don't know. It's weird. I'm not flip-flopping on liking the guy or disliking the guy. I don't think there are any assholes here. I feel like it's a conversation that is being had between two people who are in a relationship, and there are no assholes here, you know? Yeah, but that being the top comment, I'm like, not untrue observations about language, just saying OP has begun practicing language very recently, and the idea she's shifting into this alter ego, and that's why the husband can't handle the whiplash, is not what the research overall indicates to be accurate. Yeah. We need to make a differentiation between personality change and becoming a new person. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Anyway, not the whole. I think they're both a little weird and standoffish in the moment, but they came back and they had a conversation like adults. A rare no assholes here. Yeah, weird. That's the wrong button, my bad.
Nut.
There we go. If you would like to choose the next keyword for our next post search, type the word balls into chat. The word balls. Put your balls in chat. Choose balls. And the winner is Nintendo Donut 1. Nintendo, what is our keyword or phrase to search for a post on Am I the Asshole? Nuts. Okay. Nuts. Am I the hole for refusing to forgive my dad for breaking our deal? When I, 17 male, was 8 years old, my parents bought me a piano and signed me up for lessons. I was super excited because I love music. Over time, I kind of became known as the piano guy at school. I play at school concerts, accompany the local jazz choir, and play once a week for the residents at a couple of retirement homes in town. When I was 15, I started to talk about quitting lessons, and my parents quickly tried to guilt me out of it. I told them I wanted to try other things, and that between piano and studying, I didn't have much time left for other extracurriculars. My dad proposed a deal. If I kept playing and taking lessons until I reached level 10 RCM, Royal Conservatory of Music, and continued to keep my grades up at school, he would buy me a new car of my choice. Wow. Yeah, I'd be pissed too. I should explain that my family is well off financially. I have a very privileged life, but I wouldn't say I've been spoiled. If I ever want a luxury item like a new phone or a game console, I have to buy it myself with money I've saved from summer and after school jobs. I should also explain that my dad's big on loopholes. When we compete, he always finds a way to win, and when I do, it doesn't count because of some loophole. It drives me nuts, but he thinks it's hilarious. Whenever I complain about him not playing fair, his answer is always the same. Life isn't fair. Go ahead and mark Boomer Energy on your Bing hole cards if you haven't already. So because of our deal, I kept up with my lessons. I spent about 1 to 2 hours a day on piano while keeping my grades up. Last summer, I took my level 9 RCM exams and passed, fulfilling my part of the deal. I told my dad I'd chosen the BMW X5 plug-in hybrid SUV. The promise was made at 15. 2 years. 2 years. 2 years of extraordinarily dedicated work to reach this level of piano. And people that are experienced with music and know what that means, RCM 10 now. RCM 10 is collegiate level music. Like music college with mandatory theory classes. It's hard. A couple of months ago on my birthday, I came downstairs for breakfast. My dad told me there was a surprise waiting for me in the garage. I ran out, and sitting in the middle of the floor was a 1/24th scale toy BMW X5. My dad burst out laughing and said, "A deal's a deal, so as promised, here's your brand new BMW." My heart absolutely broke. I asked if he was being serious, and he said I couldn't possibly seriously have expected him to buy a 17-year-old a real brand new BMW, and that we could discuss getting me a reasonably priced used car. I said that we had a deal, and I fulfilled my end of it. He said he did too, since I never said that the car had to be full-size and drivable. I said he wasn't being fair, and his response, "Life isn't fair. You are the one being unfair. You are not life. You are the one being unfair. You are the one skewing life. If life is unfair, why are you treating your child like that?" Ever since this happened, I've been distant with my dad. I honestly feel like he betrayed my trust and that he deliberately made a fool out of me. He keeps bringing up the idea of a used car, but I told him I'm not interested, which I admit is kind of petty. I have enough money saved that I can buy a cheap used car myself, and I just feel like if I accept one from him now, it's like saying that breaking his promise didn't matter, that he didn't do anything wrong. Am I the whole? Yeah, buy your own used car. Be petty. Top comment, not the whole. Someday when he wants to come home for the holidays, send a framed photo that he can set on the table. There, you are home. You didn't tell him you'd be there in person. Life's not fair, Dad. Yeah, be petty, because he's being petty. Life may not be fair, but that doesn't justify your father being cruel. I'm sorry he finds more enjoyment in letting you down than being a good dad. Edit. Regarding some of the other comments saying that a 17-year-old doesn't need a car that expensive, I don't necessarily disagree. It's a pretty expensive car for an inexperienced driver. However, the father should have been upfront about the type of car he was willing to buy instead of letting OP think he'd get him one. Exactly. The only thing that you taught here, the only takeaway here is that you are untrustworthy. You will break your promises. And that hard work is rewarded with nothing, which is a good lesson to take into the workforce, but not like this. You incentivized your child to work extraordinarily hard at something that is extraordinarily difficult. You set up your kid for 2 years looking forward to getting this car, literally shopping around for different cars, doing research on different cars that he would like. And you said, nope, fuck you. Yeah, you taught your kid to not try. You taught your kid that nothing matters because you're just gonna lie and cheat your way out of it. Good lesson to learn at the end of the day, because that's all anyone is ever going to do. You're supposed to be the one that doesn't. We got here from Nuts and the phrase, "It drives me nuts, but he thinks it's hilarious." Got here from Nuts. Nice. Anyway, not the asshole. Your dad broke his promise and manipulated you. Quite literally, he manipulated you. Wait, hang on. There are a few comments to the original post. Okay. Closer to 80K, but yeah, I wanted something that would be fun to drive and also have cargo space and be good on gas. Since I'll be going to uni next year, I didn't think it was ridiculous since my dad buys himself a new luxury car every 2 to 3 years. But my choice of car is why I was worried I might be the a-hole. I don't think I deserve an 80K car for taking piano lessons. The deal was his idea. I'm not mad because I didn't get the car I wanted. I'm mad because my dad got my hopes up by promising me something beyond my wildest dreams, then backed out based on a loophole. But I understand why people would think I'm an a-hole for expecting such an expensive car at my age, deal or no deal. He's always been big on technicalities. That's why we made the deal. That's why when we made the deal, I asked if he really meant it. I confirmed that he really meant any car I wanted. Like if I asked for a Lamborghini, that's okay. And he said, absolutely. The toy car thing just didn't occur to me. Dumb, I know. I do know my parents' finances, as my dad has made a major point of teaching me about investments and money management. He is debt-free, owns 3 properties, has a stock portfolio worth over 50 mil. He usually has 3 or 4 cars at a time and trades one of them in every couple of years for something new. I committed to accompanying the school jazz choir, which is good for my college applications, and I wouldn't want to stop playing at the retirement homes because I've met some wonderful people there. Plus, I genuinely enjoy playing. I am thinking about quitting lessons, not taking any more RCM exams since they don't have much to do with music at the end of the day. I know I sound entitled to most people, but I honestly thought the BMW wasn't unreasonable when I asked for it. My older sister got a brand new Lexus for graduation. There are kids at my school with rides worth twice as much as what I was asking for. It's all relative, I guess. Not the golden child, but certainly daddy's princess. She never had to get a job or buy anything herself. My dad thinks it's different for boys and that I should have to work for things like he did. Oh, it gets worse. Oh, I regret going into the comments. He's always been very supportive and proud of me. He just doesn't shower me with expensive stuff like he does with my sister. If I'm being honest, her graduating wasn't a given, so I'm not surprised my dad got her a big gift when she managed it. Well, we found some additional context that made us even angrier. Like, yeah, the additional context behind those comments makes it even more bullshit that he did this. Grow trees now!